All right. Hey guys, thanks for being on here tonight for our Monday Night Dream Team Zoom. So this is the Zoom where we just talk about what's going on with the team or whatever sometimes the topic I think of, or maybe one of my leaders has suggested. And so this will be a weird topic for us to talk about because we're on the Zoom, but I think it's a good one for everyone to talk about. And I also think that hopefully some people will watch this, or maybe down the road, you might have someone in your team struggling, and I will have this recorded and I'll have it, posted. And so you guys could always tag them and share them in it. So tonight we're going to talk about when you want to give up and when you want to quit, specifically to your Thrive business, obviously, but I'm going to use some, real life examples of other things. And as always, I super like when we do chats. So if you have anything to interject, wave me down, type it in the chat, whatever the heck. This is not my time. This is our time. So I will just start off by being probably, I don't know, maybe some of you will be surprised by this, but there are times I want to quit. There are times I'm like, you know what? I'm just going back to being a trainer. It's easier. People come there. I don't have to hunt people down. I don't know. Just you have those moments. And then there are days where like right now we're trying to get these apartments rented that we have open. And I'm just like, you know what? Sell the building. I don't even want to be a landlord anymore. Like these people it's just too hard. Right. So there are times when you just feel like you want to quit, and you're like, literally it would be easier just to quit than keep pushing, which is not true, because when you break it down, rent income is awesome. So if I sold the building and gave up on that, then I would be missing on some nice income that we have. Same thing. If I gave up on Thrive and just went back to training, I'd be missing out on some nice income. Not to mention a car sitting in the driveway and some trips that we get to go on throughout the years, right? Like there's a lot of bonuses to this, but it still doesn't mean that there aren't days where I'm like, you know what? Bag it. People are stupid. Nobody wants to feel good. Nobody cares about you know what I mean? Like you have those moments where you're like, I'm done. I'm done with the dumb people. I'm just going to go to my job. And guess what? There are dumb people at that job. So then you got that moment, right? So basically, I just wanted to make sure that everyone understood total transparency. Yes, I've been incredibly successful with Le-Vel, and I have absolutely no intention of ever stopping, but it doesn't mean there aren't days that I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to quit. This is too hard. It's too hard. And the better you do, the harder it gets, which I know might sound weird, but when there are days when I'm like, man, if I just had to shoot for 12K, that'd feel better, but I got to shoot for 80K. Right. So, but that's okay. You want to keep challenging yourself. But so there are days you're like, maybe I'll just come back down. Well, why on earth would anybody like purposely come back down and lose the rank? Right. So anyway, my brain works just like yours does. So I wanted to talk about it tonight. I wanted to talk about just how I like when I have those moments, because we all have those moments, just kind of the way I talk to myself. Because if you are a client of mine, or if you've ever had a conversation with me about wanting to quit Thrive, we've probably had similar conversations. I have to have that conversation with myself. The first thing I always say to you or to myself is give yourself grace. There are going to be days that are an absolute shit show, and you're going to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. And that's okay. Just acknowledge that, because I think there are some people who truly think that doesn't happen to other people. It happens to all of us, every single one of us, sometimes more than others, or you kind of like, you'll have like this amazing month and you're like, my gosh, my life is the best. And then it's like right up to the side of the face, right? Or some of you might not ever have like a big smack in the face moment. It's just little ones all day, every day. So however it's coming to you, just know it's okay. It happens to all of us for all the things. I mean, everyone on here is married. You've all wanted to quit that at some point, right? Like, don't even lie. You've all been like, oh my gosh, what have I done? Right? And you didn't quit, and look how that's happened, right? So just remember, it happens to everybody. But so one of the things I try to remind myself whenever, for whatever, is why did I even start this? I want your apartment. It's mine. You can't have it. You got to remember why you're doing whatever it is you're doing. So in the example I gave you of the rental property, yes, it is a pain in the butt to take the phone calls, to do the showings, to deal with the people. It's an absolute pain, but why am I doing it? Like, why? So if I quit and walk away from that and be like, sell the building, yeah, that sounds exciting, to sell the building. That's a one-time profit versus making money every single month that is supposed to help carry me into my retirement, right? So I have to think, okay, yes, I'm dealing with some stupid people right now, but in the long run, here is why. There's something bigger and better outside of these rental people who Mike and I are, yeah, Mike and Courtney are already fighting you for the apartment. So you have to remind yourself why. And so for me, whenever it comes to Thrive, I didn't become a promoter. I mean, honestly, I didn't become a promoter to help people. I became a promoter because I had told so many people that somebody else was making money. And I was like, well, that's silly. Like, I should go ahead and be the promoter. I had no idea what was going to come. I had no idea how many people I would help. At the time, I had like my mom and my sister and a friend or two. So, you know, I didn't dive in and be like, I want to help the world. I was just like, well, I got like 4 people ordering, so I might make, you know, get my Thrive for free and make a couple bucks. That's why. But why do I stick with it? Why did I go from that to turning it into a full-blown business? Well, because I got a car sitting out there that I don't pay for. I've been on more vacations in the last 4 years than I probably have been in the last 30 years. And that's all because of my Thrive business. So there are going to be times when I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I reaching out to strangers? Why am I dealing with people thinking I'm crazy and calling it a pyramid? You know, why am I dealing with that? Short term is because I got a car sitting out there and I get to go on fun trips. Long term, it's because it's a huge source of income. And I don't know about you guys, but versus some of like the jobs where you have to clock in and clock out, I make a hell of a lot more money per minute, per hour, whatever you want to call it, sitting at home or riding in the car or cooking dinner versus clocking in and clocking out and being away from my family and on a schedule. So go back to your why. Anytime you're wanting to quit, go back to your why. And the one thing that I do ask people anytime they've ever come to me and they're like, I think I'm quitting, I just say, are you taking your Thrive? Because somebody who is still taking their Thrive on a daily basis, typically, they might want to quit, but they typically don't quit because they're still taking care of themselves and taking their Thrive. And so at any point in time, if you start feeling down, ask yourself, am I taking my capsules every morning? Am I putting on my DFT? Am I drinking a shake at least 4 days a week? I'm not asking you to buy every product under the sun. I'm not asking you to order everything when it comes out. I don't think you have to have a giant pantry filled with Thrive. You personally only need to be having your capsules, your lifestyle mix, and your DFT. Bare minimum. Take care of yourself, and that will keep you going, whether you want to or not. See, Sonia wanted to quit. She just got off the Zoom for a minute. It's okay. So the second thing I have to remind myself, because it's in the moments of, I call it, I'm glad we're all adults because I apparently talk like a truck driver, but it's my moments when I'm like, it's my pissy pants, right? It's when somebody asks me for the 8th time in an hour if I allow pets in the apartment when it's clearly listed that I don't. It's the 3rd person who tells me that Thrive has got more caffeine than a Starbucks when we all know it doesn't, right? It's those moments where I'm like, okay, now I'm pissy and I don't want to do this anymore, right? And then sometimes too, it can even be when somebody wants you to talk on a call or speak in front of a group of people, or they want you to reach out to somebody that's on your chicken list. And then it's your pissy pants, but it's kind of like backwards is when you're being like a little baby about it. If you're honest with yourself, you're being a little baby instead of being like, okay, I can talk to anybody. It's those moments when you're uncomfortable, whether you're like agitated or worried, you're uncomfortable. And so you have to learn in life in general, definitely in your Thrive business, but anytime in life, you got to learn to get uncomfortable. It's when you're uncomfortable that you'll grow. As a matter of fact, we were just talking tonight at working out. They thought I was kidding at first. It's a legitimate scientific fact. You know, like people love that, like what doesn't kill you make you stronger because it's in a song now. So everyone says it. Everyone has that. It's a legitimate thing. Like to get your cardiovascular health better, you have to push yourself to the point where you're like, I think I'm going to die. This is hard. I'm sweating. I'm uncomfortable. But that's how your whole system gets better. And then the next time you can do the exact same thing and it won't hurt quite as bad, right? Every single time you get stronger. It's the same with your business muscle. Over the years, I've had to make awkward phone calls, awkward reach outs where you're nervous. I've stood in front of rooms of people who I don't know and I'm totally like want to pee my pants because they're all staring at me. There's all these different things that happen, but you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable because it's in that moment that something is coming. Oh, now we got 2 Sonias. I like it. You're fine. You hang in there. You're fine. Let me see. I have a quote here. It's from Winston Churchill. I pulled this up earlier because I like to have things ready. It says, if you have an important point to make, don't try to be subtle or clever. Use a pile driver. Hit that point once, then come back and hit it again. Then hit it a 3rd time, a tremendous whack. Persistence is the key if you want to win. Now, you can take that a lot of different ways, but to me, that whack is me talking to myself, me hitting myself in the head, right? It's those times where you're like, I need to sit down and do the reach outs. Oh, I'm nervous. So-and-so is going to think I'm weird. I need to sit down and do the reach outs. That's when you're finally like, oh my gosh, just sit down and do the damn reach outs, right? It's not, no one's going to kill you through the computer. Just sit down and do your work. So it's being persistent. And part of that persistence is it's your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's your daily activity, but it's also being persistent with yourself. So there are days where I can literally do so many things to push off my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? I'm so busy with this. I'm so busy with that. I'm so busy. I can sit in the toilet while I'm peeing and do 2 reach outs, but I'm just so busy today. I'm so busy today, right? I have to be persistent with myself. I have to be like, no, Tammy, you're not too busy to do your, I don't know, job. Sit down and do your job, and then you can go be busy with all the stuff that you're so busy with, right? So it's a matter of being persistent in your daily activity, but also being persistent in how you treat yourself, how you allow. There's a little 5-year-old girl in me that just wants to play with my puppies during the day and maybe, I don't know, watch a YouTube, but she don't make no money. So I have to shut her up on the daily. There are days where I will literally sit down and start a YouTube and be like, oh, you know what? Adult Tammy, you should probably turn that off, get all your stuff done. And then tonight when you come home from work, you could crawl in bed and you could watch this little 10-minute video about a girl dyeing her hair for them. I mean, I watch the dumbest stuff, but I absolutely love hairdo videos. It's mesmerizing. But I have to have that conversation. I have to be persistent with myself. So something else that is super important when you want to quit, share your goals with people. Find somebody in here. Like, we're going to talk even more about like support systems, but share your goals, whether it be with your spouse, your best friend, your sister, a coworker. It could be your upline, your downline, your sideline. Share your goals. Now, part of the tricky thing with this is to share your goals, you have to know your goals, right? I can say share your goals all day, but if I don't know what the hell my goals are, who am I sharing them with? It doesn't matter because I don't know what they are. So part of it is being solid in your knowledge of what it is you want to do, because again, that goes back to your why. If I know if I look at this business and all I want to do is go on 3 trips a year, then I got to be focused on new people, or, new people. I could be converting customers to promoters all day long. I could earn the trips. And if that's my goal, that's my goal. If I want that auto elite bonus, then I sure cannot be converting everybody from auto ship customers to promoters, because I got to have a lot of auto ship customers. So you got to know your goals. So think about that and then share those goals with whoever you are comfortable sharing them with. But there's just something about it needs to be somebody that you can't blow smoke up their tush, right? Like if it's, I don't know, if it's your Aunt Sally and she thinks that you hung the moon, don't tell her your goals, because when you call her to tell her that you didn't do them, she'll like, it's okay. It's okay. You need somebody to be like, why? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you sit on the toilet and send 2 messages today? Right? Why did you watch that haircut video, Tammy, when you should have been doing X, Y, Z? So share it with somebody who will keep you somewhat accountable. Let me see. I made notes because I can get on tangents. You all know that. Acknowledge that there's going to be some crap, right? It said acknowledge challenge. I'm just going to say there's going to be some crap. Oh, this is funny. Laura Wernsman knows this. Like sometimes it's legitimate crap. So for example, in our day to day, we actually had a problem with some of our water lines at work. And bless my sweet husband's heart, he had to deal with legitimate crap today. So, and it's so funny. This is so perfect. Don't be mad. So the first thing he said when he came home, he's like, I'm selling the building. I'm done. Like, right? Like that. You're just so mad. You're like, here we go again. It's the buildings from 1850. Now we've got like poop coming out of a pipe in the yard, blah, 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 blah. Thank God it was in the yard, right? Are you with me? So anyway, like, you're like, bag it. I'm selling the building. I'm done. I'm selling the business. Obviously he doesn't mean those things. I don't think. But it's in that moment. So you're going to have bad times. If you are in any kind of sales business, you just need to get used to this. This is sales. It is, if I could go like this in sales, I would be, would we be 4.5 years into this? I'd be like I don't know, we'd all be 200Ks at this point. We'd be whatever if you constantly climb, but that's not how life goes. So acknowledge that you're going to have downtime. And that way when it hits, you can be like, oh, reminder, I knew this was coming. It's okay, because with every bad comes a good. So you just have to be along for the ride. But I think it's people who, when they come in, they think it's going to be all rainbows and unicorns, and we're gonna, we're gonna talk to people 5 times, and that's gonna be enough, and they're gonna want to do it. And it's definitely not how it goes. My newest customer is someone who I signed up in 2016, and it's not for lack of talking to her. And honestly, it was weird. The time when she finally wanted to order, she came to me. It wasn't in one of my reach outs. It was, when it's someone's time, it's someone's time. You all probably had someone talking to you for a while before you ordered. Some of you longer than others, but it was when you made the decision. So our job is not to make the decision for them. Our job is to educate them and be ready when they make the decision. So acknowledge that it's not all going to be easy. Focus on being happy. Now, sounds weird, but I remind myself of whenever I'm like, so today, the crap was happening. We showed the apartment last night. It's a lot right now. And it's December, and I only have presents for my nephews. I literally have nobody else's presents. And turns out it's next week. So, I was having like those moments. And that's when I was like, you know what? All good problems to have. No, not the crap, but the ability to pay for the people that we needed and the machinery we needed to fix it. That's wonderful. Thank you, Jesus. And thank you, baby Jesus, that it was something we could fix. It's awesome that I have presents for my nephews and that I have gotten them multiple presents, even though I haven't got anybody else anything yet. So I always try to remind myself of the good, because it's so easy to get caught in the spiral of the bad. And you've probably all been there where you start doing that, and then before you know it, you're like, you start thinking of everything that's bad. But if you can stop yourself and just acknowledge the good in the situation, and then just, I just always remind myself, for example, the sheer fact we're on a computer right now, all far away from each other, talking to each other, freaking miracle. I don't know, right? Think about that. So what do we really have to complain about? We all have either telephones or computers, so we clearly have some sort of income that we have these things. There are people who don't even have a bed to sleep in, and we're bitching about, whatever. So that's when it says get happy, or when it's I call it turn your frown upside down, or put your big girl panties on, whatever it is that you're feeling in the moment. But it's kind of recentering yourself, pull yourself out of the woe is me, nobody ordered from me this month, or woe is me, I'm not missing, I'm low on my goal. Don't dwell in it. Be happy you have the ability to have a goal. Be happy that you acknowledge that you didn't hit it and you're going to work harder for it. You get it. The other thing that you can do too, and this is a hard one for me, I will be very honest with you, and I know it's good to do, but I don't do it very often, is when you're like, this sucks, I don't want to do this anymore. Stop and remind yourself what you've done that is good. Somebody, I think it was Danielle, put on a Facebook post today, what is something you did this year that you're proud of? I had to stare at that. I'm going to have to think about that. I don't acknowledge, I don't try. I don't try to brag, but I don't know. I'm going to have to sit and think, what did I do this year I'm proud of? And immediately I'm nitpicking. I'm well, we didn't do enough of this, blah, blah, blah. But stop and think what you've done. So let's say you're oh my gosh, I really wanted to hit 40K this month. Okay, well, you hit 12K. I'm assuming, if you're shooting for that, or maybe you missed 12K. Okay, well, you still probably got pretty close, and you made a lot more money than you would have had you not been shooting for it. Just start acknowledging what you're doing right. Give yourself credit for the good, because it's from all the activity that the money will eventually come, that the sales will come. And it's staying active in the downtime and those little roller coasters we talked about. If you can stay positive and active in the downtime of the roller coaster, because you all know it's super easy to stay active and happy in the roller coaster when that girl's going up, right? You're well, I got customers, I'm making money, I'm qualifying for things. I literally dance around the house and say stuff like that. And then there are days where I'm oh my God, crickets. No one is talking to me. Nobody wants my throat. You know what I mean? So we all have that. So acknowledge what you're doing right. So, because again, that's just turning your frown upside down and staying positive when you really want to be I'm out. And then this kind of goes back to the whole sharing your goals, but you guys have a tremendous support system right here in this team, right here in this page. It doesn't even have to be a support system in that you have to hop on a Zoom and share I wanted to quit this week. You can, we're all here for you. We'll listen and we'll pick you back up. But it could just be that maybe you have a connection with someone on the team and you can reach out and be hey, Sandra, I wanted to quit today. Talk to me. Like you can totally do that. We are all here for that. I talked about it for those of you that made it to the Christmas party. I talked about the fact that this community that we have developed in Dream Team is flipping amazing. I know for a fact if I ever want to quit, this is where I'm coming first. I'm going to tell you, and then you can all smack me around and I'll snap out of it. Like I know that that's here for me and it's here for all of you. So definitely, you know, use your friends, like use us for what we're for. Because like I have great friends, but they don't understand the business. So I might say it's really hard, sales are down, and they're gonna be like, oh, well, maybe you should get out of it if sales aren't good, you know, da, 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 da. I'm like, no, that's not what I wanted to hear. You need to tell me to buck up and hit, you know what I mean? Like you need that from us. You're only gonna get that from us. Your family and friends don't understand it. You've got to talk to us. And I also want you to, as much as I want to like pound at you, stay consistent, stay consistent, stay consistent. There are so many different levels, I guess, of quitting. You know, like there's already people who are like, oh, it's the mid-December. I'm gonna promote in 2020. I'll taking a break. I'll be back in 2020. That's like the kiss of death. Like, I'm not saying, you know, maybe you don't have to do like 20 reach outs a day, but if you're not doing 5 a day, just there are times when you need to scrape bare bottom and do the minimum. I get that. Had a couple days like that. But you don't stop. And I've vacationed with several of you. It's not that hard to lay on the beach and pop this little bad boy open and make a post about how great life is and send some reach outs. I mean, if you had the pool boy over too many times with cocktails, you're going to have to put the phone down, but do it prior. It's not that hard to do, but you know, when you take a day off and 2 days off and 3 days off, you get further and further and you feel backed up, you feel overwhelmed. And then that's when you're like, oh, I'll start in 2 weeks. I'll start when the kids go back to school. I'll do it this summer when the kids are home from school. Like when those things start happening, that's when you got to go back to being persistent with yourself. Be like, no, we have a schedule. We have a few things we're going to do every day. We're going to stick to it, hell or high water. Honestly, I think one of the only times I've really taken off was when I had my gallbladder. And I mean, I talked to some of you, some of it I don't remember, some of it I do. But it's a good thing I wasn't doing reach outs that day because I don't really know what I would have talked about for sure. But you know, like I'm not saying you have to work like a dog and hustle, hustle, hustle. Like I get that whole, like, you know, gotta hustle. There's a time, there's a place. There's also a time to say, you know what, it's Sunday night and I'm going to be with my family, or it's Christmas Day, be with your family. But the day before Christmas, or maybe the day after, or, you know, the Sunday after Christmas, people are like, oh, what's the Sunday after Christmas? Yeah, Christmas was on a Wednesday. What do you mean it's the Sunday after Christmas? You know what I mean? Like pick yourself back up, stay in the zone. And so for me, like I know Christmas Day, I mean, you all know me. All I care about are my nephews. I'm not going to be doing reach outs or something like that on Christmas Day, but the day before and the day after, I'll make up for it. And I already know that. And actually, to be honest with you, I'll probably do it all ahead of time because I struggle if I have to start. If I feel like, if I wake up and I feel like I'm behind, it's mental with me. So I'll actually do more on Monday and Tuesday to totally pad that Wednesday. Like I don't want to be on my phone when my precious nephews are breathing, you know, near me. So know that it's okay to take breaks. It's okay to have some downtime, but also remember to be intentional with that. Just like I told you, like when I feel myself feeling overwhelmed and I go to watch a YouTube video or go to play with the dogs, I literally have to be like, okay, adult Tammy has a job. She's going to stick with it for the rest of the day. And then tonight when we get home, we're going to curl up on the couch. And we're going to watch some TV or something like that. Like I have to have that conversation. And it's, you know, it's acknowledging that I'm stressed. It's acknowledging that I want to goof off, but it's also acknowledging that I have a job to do. So treat I don't know how to say this. Like, I don't want you to obviously work 24/7, but I also don't want you to, you know, like, you know your goals. I don't always know all your goals. If you're not reaching your goals, there's probably something during the day you're doing that's not helping. I know for me, it's watching YouTube. In the summer, it's playing out in the yard. So, you know, there are days I might have to come inside and focus because I want to plant a flower or whatever. Like whatever your hobbies are, you all have hobbies and things that you love. Sonia would rather be riding her Harley, right? So it's like I make a deal with myself. If I want to go out and play with the flowers, I'm going to sit down and get all this stuff done. So I know it sounds elementary, but it's when you work for yourself and no one's telling you to get anything done or hovering over you, expecting a deadline, you kind of have to have a split personality and be that person. Like I have to hover over myself sometimes. And you all probably totally understand what I'm saying. But so I don't know, I got off on a tangent. Anyway, tonight was about not quitting, not giving up on yourself, not giving up on your goals. I know a lot of people, like I said, are always like, okay, 2020 is my year. And don't get me wrong, I'm saying the same thing because 2020 is totally going to be our year. But that doesn't mean that 2019 is over. Like we still have a lot. We have a good couple weeks left. Yes, there's a holiday in there, a couple of them. Yes, it's a little harder that way. But you guys, people have money and they're spending it. And then this sounds horrible, but it's just true. There's a lot of people who are just ringing that credit card and they're like, what's another $200? Like they've waited all year. They've not spent a penny on themselves. They're swipe. And now they're like, what's another $200? And now, if they spend that $200 on a Michael Kors purse, Courtney, I saw your video, wanting a puppy and a purse. I loved it. Versus, I guess here's why I don't feel guilty about it. If they came to me and they bought a Michael Kors purse with $200 that they really shouldn't be spending, I'm like, But Thrive, we will change their life. You give me the money, we will change your life. So I don't feel bad about that. I don't know. I hope that's okay. But so don't trick yourself thinking I'm so busy, everyone's so busy. Yeah, busy people get shit done. That is the rule of life right there. The busiest people I know get the most stuff done that I know. So don't give up on people, specifically not yourself. But if you do feel like it, because it's the week before Christmas and you only have 2 people purchase for, reach out, let us know. So anyway, I've talked way too long. There's some chats that I've missed. Let me go check. Oh, poor Sonia. Do the reach outs, make them simple. Yes, simple. And I do agree with that. I think we've talked about this before, like getting in our head and like crafting the message and what would they say and blah, blah, blah. Keep it simple. Lately, it sounds like everybody has people coming to them that have had accounts for a long time. I agree. Sandra had one. I had one. Laura Warren's one. I think you had one. I'm probably missing people. Courtney had one. Yeah. So that case in point right there. If I had quit 6 months ago when this girl was like ready to thrive, wouldn't have been me. It would have been hopefully one of you. But nonetheless, you know what I mean? Like she would have had to go to somebody else. But I'm not a quitter. That's got me in trouble before, but I'm not a quitter. So, all right, wave me down. Whatever you want to talk about, anything you want to add, anything you want to share, shout out for somebody on your team. I'm going to shout out Laura Wernsman. Thank you for doing the Zoom last night. My intention was to get on, maybe be a couple minutes late, but I was showing that apartment. But I think I have a renter. It's not done yet, but I think I have a renter. So yeah, do this for me. Thank you. And I heard it was amazing. And of course, because I wasn't here, we didn't get to record it and all the things. So I'm going to let that go. All right. Who wants to talk? Don't be shy. What is this? I've had 2 and 1 coming up this week. They're watching. You had 2 people and 1 coming up. I got it. Give them value to watch. Yes, I agree. And I am going to plug really quick. We have 4 days left for the double triple, whether you do the 200, 400 or 800. To me, the 800 is, I don't know, the 200 or 400 are the ones that we sell. Don't let that slip you by. For those of you that are shooting for bonuses and ranks and whatever else, those $400 packs are literally the easiest way to push your volume. And when you're shooting for bonuses, it's all about volume. So beg, borrow, bribe, bully, whatever. Those are my tricks right there. You get the most, and you do get the most commission back on the 400, which means you have more ability to give them an impressive rebate, but even still keep some money. I mean, I'll be honest, I've sold a $200 pack to a lady. I only gave her $60 back. I'm keeping 30. I don't know. She had the option to do the 400 pack. She chose the 2. That's where it went. So in a way, it's nice. They've got the option. So if they are having that moment where they're like, oh my gosh, it's Christmas, I don't know. In the long run, she would have had a better deal if she did the 400, but she felt more comfortable with the 2. And so there you have it. So it still works. Okay, we're being quiet. That's okay. We can be quiet too. All right. Well, I'm not going to keep you on here just to keep you here. You see, Zoom's trying to tell me we're running out of time. Okay, last chance. Questions, comments? All right, I am here. We'll be back Sunday for the planning Zoom. I'm sure I'll be popping into Dream Team more than that because, like I said, we got 4 days left for that. If you guys need any help with the double triple, if you need help understanding it, if you need help talking to somebody to explain packages, that's what I do. And because I haven't quit, you should probably call me. All right. All right. Bye.